Hi guys, and welcome to this week's weekly EO Byte. This week, Adam is going to go over how to manage Zscaler client connector updates. We hope you enjoy the video, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Michelle. Keeping your organization's software updated and patched can be cumbersome and tedious at times, but it doesn't have to be. If you're running outdated versions of Zscaler Client Connector, you could be putting yourself and your organization's environment at risk. And certain versions could lack major bug fixes and ultimately may no longer be supported by Zscaler. By utilizing Zscaler update settings and creating an App Store group policy, you can simplify your efforts, and this is located in the Zscaler Client Connector portal. To access your Zscaler Client Connector portal, you can click on the Zscaler Client Connector tile within Z Identity or within Zscaler Internet Access Portal under Policy, Mobile, Zscaler Client Connector Portal. Here you can easily access the release notes link. If you are investigating a certain version, you would select it here. It defaults to Windows. You can also select Mac, iOS, Android, Chrome, OS, and Linux. Then you would select the app version. We'll select 4.8, for example. And then we'll leave the subversion at all so we can get all updates for 4.8. So in this case, if you have an adapter down error, 4.8, this version of 4.8 will fix that issue, so on and so forth. Next, you can also click on the supported release for all OSs. This is going to give you a quick breakdown on which versions are supported for each operating system. So we'll go ahead and close this. And to get to the update settings, you would go to Administration, Client Connector App Store, and by default, it'll be at the update settings. But first, we want to go to new releases. And if there's a certain version that we want to roll out, we have to make sure that the build is enabled. And you can check the enable build column. So if we wanted to roll out 4.7.0.1.13, we would need to turn this switch on right here. And if you make any changes within this section, you do have to save, otherwise it will revert back. So say I turn 4.7.0.1.13 on, but then I navigate to register devices, and back here you'll see that it didn't save it automatically. So if I want to deploy 4.7.0.1.13, I'll turn it on there and then I'll hit save. So now when I go back to update settings and want to create my group policy, it's going to show up here. So if I click add App Store group policy, I will want to pick a user group of who I want to have this group policy targeted. In this case, for example, I'm just going to pick EO Corp Engineering T1. So anybody that's in that group is going to have this policy applied to them. And as you can see, this 4.0.1.13 does show up. This is the one I just enabled. So if I'm happy with that one, I'll select that version. And most installs are 64-bit today, so I want to make sure that's turned on. If you also want to have this applied to their Mac, if they have a Mac, select that version as well. And I'm going to go ahead and leave Linux disabled at this time. And apply from timestamp. If you have a future date that you want this policy to start taking effect, you can select it here. Keep in mind this is in UTC. If you want it to happen, as soon as you save the policy, go ahead and leave this blank. You could potentially also use this time if you select now, the time it is now UTC, so you can remember when you enable this policy. Say you created this policy, 10 months ago, you'll be able to see that timestamp within this policy that you created. There's two different rollout types. Phase rollout, as you can see, there's a schedule here. It's going to be for the selected group of EO Corp T1. This device selection will be random within the user group. If the end user client is not turned on within 7 days of this rollout, it will automatically get upgraded when the client connector application is online. So the phase rollout, the first day will be 1% at random of that group that you have selected. And then on the second day, you'll get 2%, so on and so forth until you hit day 7, which will be the whole group, 100%. And then, of course, mass rollout. This feature will be rolled out as soon as the user gets the policy itself. Um, so I'll go ahead and save here, and you should see it show up right here. This all one is the default. You should see that in your admin portal, regardless if you created any other group policies. This one can't be deleted. So if you want, your whole organization within that tenant to be updated to a certain version, this is where you would either set it to, of course, mass or phased, but it would happen to all groups, or basically everybody that's enrolled in your Zscaler tenant. And then, of course, you would want to select your versions that you want to be rolled out to your entire organization. Another thing to note is that on this dashboard here, if you want to see if there's any unsupported clients currently in your environment, they would show up here. Of course, this number will go up and down as your clients get updated, or maybe they might get rolled off due to inactivity, or as versions change and versions become unsupported. One other thing I would like to note is that there's a trust post out there, deprecation of old, outdated Zscaler client releases. They're doing it in 3 phases. Phase 1, they're going to deprecate versions 1x and 2x versions. And then phase 2 will be anything that's 3x versions. And then phase 3 will be user enrollments blocked from all non-supported ZC versions that they deem are, old enough that they are no longer supporting. And then here are the key dates for those. What will happen once they deprecate the versions is if the client logs out and they have that version, they will not be able to log back in. And thank you for listening.